I wanna go home. I don't wanna stay. Give up life was a bad mistake.
In time, I'm actually gonna become something. And what are you guys gonna be? Dog on the bottom of my shoe.
Holy shit, it's Leafy!
I wanna go home. I don't wanna stay.
The small commentary community in its own right is, well, for now we'll just say somewhat interesting. Despite not really being known or talked about among the general internet populace, it has a decent amount of content creators within it that actually make good content. But the small commentary community is also a time capsule, in the way that content like this is still being made. All because an entire generation of impressionable, pre-pubescent children were highly influenced by Leafy in 2016, when they were like, probably in, I don't know, second grade or something. Okay, so when I originally wrote the script, that comment that I just made was ironic, but I realized it's probably actually true, and that makes it like 5 times funnier. I also just want to say and emphasize that just because I criticize content comparable to Leafy or 2016 commentary in general, that doesn't mean I really hate it.
Need a new desk.
It's a product of its time, and I'd be stupid to not acknowledge its influence on the internet as a whole. Without it becoming as popular as it did, it's arguable that I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel, or at least it wouldn't be as popular as it is now, I think. Anyways, with all of that being said, though 2016 commentary was very influential as a whole on the internet, it doesn't mean that kind of content still holds up nearly 7 years later, at least in my opinion. It's been done to death a million times, and many people really fail to make it entertaining or unique at all.
But I think I found a form of content on TikTok that is worse than a lot of the other things that we've encountered in the past, which are political TikToks.
The lack of self-awareness is probably the funniest part about most of these channels, to be honest.
Now, I generally like to keep politics out of my channel because it generally results in your comment section being an absolute war zone. But sometimes when you see something completely stupid and completely ridiculous, you kind of have to set aside the standards that you've set for yourself in the past just because of how stupid it is.
No, you don't.
Like, it can't be ignored at that point.
Yes, I can. And, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch this, because it's a 6-minute video of you crying about people having different political and social beliefs than you, with little to no editing. Like, if the editing and narration were more engaging to make the video entertaining, I may have honestly found the video funny regardless of the obvious political sentiment expressed in the video. But yeah, no. Just some kid staring into the depths of your soul as he describes to you why he dislikes random quote-unquote woke videos on the internet, with, once again, little to no editing or music to make the video not extremely awkward. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. I gotta make a call.
Hello, what do you need?
Ayydriel.
Kanye West. I need you to buy
YouTube.
And
ban.
E-gamer is banned.
They don't fool around me and President Trump.
Anyways, even though this video in particular isn't really that entertaining or funny, I mean, like I said, it's just him crying over arbitrary things neither side of the political spectrum should really care about at this point. Like, oh boy, pronouns, this is something definitely worth arguing about for the 6th time this week. That's a problem I see with a lot of these small commentary channels. They'll have no drama to talk about for a bit, and instead of using that time to come up with original ideas, they'll either A, beat a dead horse, or B, force drama where there is none.
what did you say to me?
And there is an option C, but we'll get into that later. I mean, just look at some of this content. Mr. Clock is trying to beat RDH Vortex. Oh, that guy. But who's Mr. Clock? And who's Kuiper?
Prepare for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight as a Jedi. Fight in space. Fight the battles any way you want. Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Tuesday. You fight again. Rated teen.
Yep, you really just read the title correctly. And yeah, this is not even clickbait. So ever since I was in that drama with Jim Balls, I guess Mr. Clock This Stuff wanted to get into the fun, and then he discovered RDH Vortex, which coincidentally had the same subscriber count as her. And so basically Mr. Clock This Stuff basically, you know, started doing the, hey guys, please like and subscribe, we have to beat RDH Vortex and stuff. Look, I don't care if you're doing that and stuff, I guess that's just your thing, but the thing that kind of bothers me about this is this, just look at this one.
You know, the thing that really bothers me about this channel is how desperately it's reaching for content. I'm not even sure if you can call this a commentary channel. It's purely drama. Like, what is he even complaining about here?
Very absolutely serious KSI rant with putting KSI in a whooshy blue and purple fucking 1980s neon style intro made by Uni Commentary. Yeah, it's so serious, guys. One of the most impactful videos on this website throughout its 17 years of history. Man, dude, he'll definitely get KSI there.
The guy having decent thumbnails? At least it's not auto-generated like your thumbnails probably are. At least he doesn't have thumbnails like this. I don't even like Gazzy, but this is such a retarded excuse for criticism.
Everything. KSI originally said that you could only see this show if you bought tickets for it. It would never be on YouTube.
This video is not even a rant. Let's just change the name for it to be something more accurate. There we go. Now that's a more accurate title to the video. Also, by the way, this is not even the first time he named something a rant. He named this apparently a rant, and in the end it was more of a reaction. This guy can't even think of, like, naming stuff rants. I really don't even know how you fail that shit. You know, I really doubt anybody even watches your videos anymore, dude. You're a channel with 4,000 subscribers, and you barely get 100 views. I mean, there's this one video with 7,000 views. But that's just one video. Out of what? 20? The only reason why you're still on YouTube is because, well, let's be honest, the only reason why you're still on YouTube is basically begging people for attention.
Huh. Okay, so let's write this down, alright? So this guy's arguments consist of, he makes decent thumbnails, he doesn't use the word rant with the same connotations that I do, and he says that Gazzy begs for attention, which in this case is kind of a moot point, let's be real. Do you now know why I don't like this community? Most of the quote-unquote content within it is very similar to this. Oh, and that's not even to mention how much this community loves its lolcows. Over and over again, the same people are complained about. Even if the points against said people are valid, which, to be fair, a decent amount of the time it is, it just gets to a point where everyone repeats the same points as each other, in some cases word for word.
It literally looked like Creepshow Art's character drawn by a disabled 10-year-old.
C is literally a copy of Creepshow Art, and you can't tell me otherwise. Look at these two images.
And yes, she has a fucking gore fetish. She even made a whole Twitter account dedicated to it. People like you need to be required goddamn therapy.
I don't want to throw around allegations, but it kind of seems like Mushroom Girl is a gore or some kind of NSFW fetish, because she's got an entire Twitter account dedicated to gore art.
Mushroom Girl is so fucking sensitive. She tried to take down Toad's video on her, because Toad called her retarded. If you get offended by people calling you retarded, I don't think commentary is meant for you.
Sensitive, and she can't take criticism, because guess what? She flagged one video from Toad is Forgotten. Do you want to know why? It was because deep down, she was so sensitive, she wanted to take down a video because it called her the R word.
And so on and so forth.
But to be honest with you, there's much worse within the community than mediocre and blatantly unoriginal content. So far, the content we've covered has been at best lackluster and awkward to just bad. But now it's time we get into the downright deplorable. Now it's time we get into the commentary channels that are willing to get attention by any means necessary. Though there are commentary channels within the community that are willing to sacrifice their dignity for clicks, there are very few who are willing to destroy their entire reputation for attention and attempting to convince everyone their views are objectively correct. Epic Dude and GGG Soldier are channels which many of you are probably already familiar with. Before we move on though, I'm going to address this now. This video isn't politically charged at all. Even though to me this is more of a being a decent human being issue rather than a political one, I just wanted to clear that up because though both of these guys have significantly better editing skills compared to the channels we've covered prior to now, they're on this list mostly because 1. They often rely on clickbait and purposefully contrarian takes in order to get views, and they're also extremely transphobic. Now look, I understand that you can't change people's minds. I'm not here to try to debunk someone on why transphobia is bad. If they want to believe that, that's their life, I guess. I can't change it, unfortunately. But it doesn't stop at just not liking trans people. Epic has a decent history involving harassment in various ways, whether it be nuking your server, or spamming people on Twitter for being trans, threatening to or legitimately going through with doxing, or just generally harassing and in some cases borderline stalking people just because you disagree with them. And there were many people who did this. Epic, GGG Soldier, Debitane aka Doozy, which some of you may remember from a video I made on him a while back, and many more. Since the past few months though, many of these toxic individuals have either been banned or have just decided to leave the internet for the time being. And though I'm not usually for people being deplatformed, in this case, I think it's completely justified. Though this video was mostly negative, I do want to bring attention to the fact that, despite the garbage heap of mediocre, depressing, and borderline schizophrenic content creators within the community, there are many entertaining and informative small commentary channels that are run by decent people. Unique Commentary, Janky Shining, Raylolin, Fractional Void, Definitely Born Oranges, Nace Nation, Just Quilted, Xenotion, just to name a few. If you haven't already, check all of these guys out. There are good content creators within this community, okay? I know it doesn't seem that way because of how harsh I've been, but I'm only this harsh because I hate all of you. I'll see you guys later.